Hello everybody, Epic Mewtwo here. I know this probably wasn't the video that you were expecting today, and honestly, it wasn't the one I was expecting either. This may or may not be the only video uploaded today. I apologize that there's maybe no Dokkan video today. We'll have to see. The day that I'm filming this is, well, I guess the day after. Basically, on Monday, I thought I was going to have more time to film, but I ended up being a lot more busy with work than I ended up, or that I thought I was going to be. So I ended up being more busy, basically, and I had less free time than I thought I was going to, to make a Dokkan video. So that was really unfortunate, but this was a video that I wanted to make anyway, and I was going to release it alongside a Dokkan video, but since I didn't have a video made for today, and this was something that was a little bit easier to make, I figured I'd go ahead and make this just so that you guys had something, for today. And, I apologize again. I know it's not a Dokkan video. I know it probably won't do as well, yada, 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 but it's all good. I was going to make the video anyway either way, so it's all good. Basically, I just kind of wanted to talk about, now that Dragon Ball Super is over, I kind of just wanted to, I guess this is just kind of like a little type of discussion and podcast rambling kind of thing. So it's literally just going to be the one picture on screen, whatever I pick, it's just going to be from the last episode. You can just, turn the video, you don't have to watch the video because there's going to be nothing actually in the video. It's just going to be the picture. You can, close the tab and listen to this while you're doing something else if you'd like to. But I just kind of wanted to talk about my sort of, I guess, experience with Dragon Ball Super, and kind of what it's meant to me, and I guess just how I kind of feel about it and how I feel about it going forward. I don't know how long this video is going to be, completely unscripted. Don't even really know what I'm going to say, to be honest. I guess I have a couple points in my head, but, I just kind of wanted to talk about Dragon Ball Super now that it's over. Well, over for now anyway. Like I said, we'll talk about that later in the video. But, yeah, so I guess let's just hop right into it here. So, because I kind of wanted to do this retrospective video just because, I obviously, like the rest of us, am a pretty big fan of Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball as a whole. I have, well, before Dragon Ball Super, I kind of grew up on watching, if any of you are familiar with 4Kids, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z Kai on there. And like right now, funny enough, I actually never watched the Buu arc because they never dubbed it in Kai until like 2014. So I'm actually watching through it right now. So that's kind of funny. Like I know what happens, in the general thing, just from being in the community, I've kind of just figured it out by this point, but I'm actually like watching it for the first time now, which is kind of ironic that I'm watching that, as soon as Super ends. But either way, so that was kind of like, the beginning of Dragon Ball for me. And I remember, being a pretty casual fan, I liked the stuff, I'd watch clips of it, but I wasn't too into it. Definitely not as into it as I am now, and all that. So kind of, in 2014 was when Dragon Ball Super started airing. I think, yeah, 2014. Wow, 4 years ago. Can you guys believe that? That's so crazy. I remember it was kind of funny because I remember this very vividly. This was when I was in high school. Oh my gosh, that would have had to have been like sophomore year, right? Maybe junior year, something like that. Either way, way back in the day. It feels like anyway at this point. But I remember, like I wouldn't watch the episodes on Sunday. I'd wait until Monday and watch them at the lunch table with one of my friends. And we'd like watch it, like every Monday after the new episode would come out. And I remember how in the beginning we would always complain. We were like, oh, when are they going to make new stuff? They're just like, sorry about that, had to cut there. They're just like, when are they going to make new stuff? They're just like rehashing the two movie arcs. Because funny enough, I actually saw both Battle of Gods and Revival of F in theaters when they were dubbed and brought to the stage, which was pretty cool. Honestly, I've never had a, kind of like an anime movie experience like that before, where something like that was brought to the big screen. I didn't end up seeing the Pokemon movie this year, which was kind of unfortunate. It just didn't work out with the timing, but that was really cool seeing both of those movies in theaters, and seeing them with a bunch of buddies was really awesome. But, it was really when Super, started getting the new stuff was when, really started kicking it up a notch, after, all of the, Battle of Gods and Revival of F shenanigans, like I said, were over. We started getting into, the universe, 6 vs 7 arc and, all of that stuff. And oh my gosh, I remember, like, talking to my friend about, like, the Hit and Goku fight, like, oh my gosh, dude, wasn't that so cool, and all that. So that was all just really cool, and it's kind of crazy to think that I've been following this show for 4 years. Like, if you told me now to, like, I mean, now that I love Dragon Ball this much, I think I would do it, but, like, if you told me to sit down and watch a, what are we at, 131 episode show, I don't know if I'd do it. Because that's just, like, such a crazy amount, to, like, quote unquote catch up on, or like watch and get back on so you're caught up with the series. Obviously I think I would do it now, if I was just starting to get into it again now. I know some people obviously haven't even started it, but it's just kind of crazy to think that I've been watching for that long, like 4 long years, and we all have, really. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that, I guess, the little bit of a history I had with it, because it was just so cool in high school. I remember, talking to friends about it when the new episode would come out every week. And at that time, wasn't really aware too much of, like, the Dragon Ball YouTube community. We got, like, Geekdom and Anime AJ. And yes, if you don't know, I do watch those people. But nonetheless, it's like, I didn't know about all that yet. So, I was just kind of talking about with friends, which obviously I still do now anyway. But I think it was really, like, Goku Black, I want to say, like, around that arc that I think I started getting more into, like, watching Dragon Ball YouTube stuff. I could be wrong on that. My memory is kind of fuzzy. I'm not known for having a good memory, but I believe that's when it was around there. Anyway, the point was, though, it was definitely before the Universe Survival arc, and it was cool finding that little community, people who really liked going in depth with the anime and stuff. So that was really cool, and that even just, like, propelled my love for Super even more. My best friend Abel, who's been on the channel a bunch of times, he loves Dragon Ball Super too, and we'd always talk about the new episode, and I was famous for not watching the episode on time, and he'd want to, like, spoil it for me, and, like, when he'd come over to my house for the weekend, he'd be, like, watching the episode. I'd be like, no, put it away, don't watch that, we're gonna watch the whole episode. Because I remember for a while, like, he wouldn't watch the whole episode, he just watched, like, the fights and the clips on YouTube, and be like, that's not enjoying the episode. And but everyone enjoys it in their own way, so if that's how you enjoy it, then that's all you. But I was really a big fan of just watching the whole thing its entirety. And I really like story and a lot of things. One of my dreams someday is to become an author and write stories for video games. But so I really like getting the full in-depth story of something that I'm watching. Like, I'm very disappointed if a game doesn't have story most of the time, because I think that every game could have some kind of story mode. But nonetheless, though, it was really cool getting into the story. And there are arguments that Dragon Ball Super story maybe isn't the best and blah blah blah, but that's irrelevant. I still irrelevant to what I'm saying anyway. I still enjoyed it either way. And that's, of course, what was important. Dragon Ball Super is a series that has really made me feel things while watching a show that I haven't felt in a long time. Like, I remember, some of those older animes that I watched, when I was first starting to get into anime in, like, high school and stuff, like, watching Death Note for the first time, and, like, watching Light scribble all the names in there, and, like, feeling the intensity of that, and then, like, seeing him break at the end of the series. And I know everyone hates the end of Death Note, and I do too, but, like, seeing him kind of break and, like, feeling that, like, no, how could Light have lost? He was such this genius. And really, like, feeling a lot of emotion for that. And, like, Gurren Lagann, another one of my favorite animes of all time. I have the freaking Team Dai Gurren flag hanging above my computer up here. That was, like, really inspired me in high school, and, like, got me, when I watched it with some of my friends, really made a brothership with some of those people. And, so shows like that really inspired me, and, like, definitely changed my life in some way, or at least made me feel, like, a very certain, you know, like emotion, whatever the show was trying to portray, it did it very well. And you know, a show hasn't really come along like that, you know, like there's shows that I've enjoyed, you know, like I don't really remember One Punch Man doing that as much as I think that that's literally one of the best anime of all time and one of my favorites. I absolutely adore One Punch Man. Can't wait for season 2, by the way. I don't really, you know, that's more of just like a funny kind of fun show. One is a very interesting writer if you haven't looked into his work, but I actually need to watch his other series that got an anime made out of it. But nonetheless, you know, My Hero Academia, great show as well. That one, you know, didn't make me inspired. I know a lot of, or not, I can't say that it did in some ways, but it definitely, I know, was a lot more so for other people. But I think that I can say with great confidence that Dragon Ball Super is a show that, like, every week really wowed me and made me like audibly go like, whoa, oh my gosh, you know, or like, you know, like hold my breath, something like that. You know, even when I would be, you know, like sometimes, you know, like I get a couple episodes behind and I wouldn't be, you know, like looking forward to catching up or something like that. I don't know why, because I always loved the episodes once I watched it, but like after I watched the episode, like I said, I always ended up enjoying it. And I was like, why was I lamenting that? Like, that was so awesome, you know? And like when I watched the episode, like every episode would just blow me away. And I don't know if it was just because it was Dragon Ball or, you know, I mean, I have to give credit where it's due, you know, like obviously besides our rough beginnings in terms of animation, you know, later down the line, it got really good, you know, and lots of, you know, mind-blowing animation was in there, you know, just incredible moments and stuff. You know, like finding out that, you know, Goku Black was actually Zamasu the whole time, and, you know, like all different kinds of moments, and, you know, like the Hit and Goku fight, like I said, was, you know, really cool, and, you know, like seeing Krillin fight. I remember specifically, I don't know why, being really wowed by the Krillin versus the Blind Fox. I don't remember what universe they were from. In the universe of survival arc, excuse me, of course. But man, just like every week the show, even if it was just like, you know, like the silly episodes, if it wasn't an episode that wowed me, you know, it would make me laugh. Like Dragon Ball Super has made me laugh a lot more than I expected that it would. You know, stuff like the Arale episode that we got, that was really cool. You know, like that episode was just so funny. You know, I audibly laughed like tons of times, and even during the Tournament of Power there were some funny moments. But like, you know, this show has definitely you know, brought out some emotions in me that a show hasn't in a long time. And I don't know if I'd say it has inspired me. I mean, inspired me to buy a lot of the merchandise maybe, but nah, I'm kidding. Well, I guess I'm not kidding, but you know what I mean. But no, but like it's, you know, really made me feel a lot of emotions, and that's really cool. Because if a show can do that, that means it's good. It means it's doing a good job. You know, like literally, like in the you know, in the episode 130, you know, when Goku and Jiren were fighting, I was like, oh yeah, oh my gosh. But it's just so cool that a show can do that to you. And so that was so awesome that Dragon Ball Super was able to do that for me. I hope it did for you too, because, you know, it was really cool, and it's definitely something that everybody should get to experience, and I think a lot of us have. You know, considering that we're all in this community. And that's another thing too, this show has really brought about the community. You know, this community specifically is mainly about Dokkan Battle, but you know, the Dragon Ball Super anime is something that we kind of all revolve around besides Dokkan, and you know, something that every week we talk about, you know, just in our little friend circles, whether it's in videos or, you know, just Discord calls or what have you. I think Dragon Ball Super, you know, even if it doesn't continue, which I'll get to that in a second, but even if it doesn't continue, I'd say it's definitely left its mark, especially, you know, here in the North American Dragon Ball community. Of course, it's left its mark in Japan as well. We're not even going to begin to scratch the surface of that, because that I cannot speak on, because obviously I don't know that personally, but it's definitely made an impact there either way. I can say that with quite certainty. But in terms of Dragon Ball Super coming back, I would be willing to almost put my life on it. Because, like, again, I don't know if you guys keep up with, excuse me, oh my gosh, Geekdom, 101, but he's been doing a lot of videos talking about some interviews with some of the VAs in Dragon Ball Super. I am burping like a storm, I'm sorry. And basically all of their interviews kind of imply that Dragon Ball Super is coming back. I believe even Toriyama kind of gave a statement that sort of implied that. And even the end of episode 131 was like, you know, this is, you know, the end of the story for our heroes for now. And I was like, ooh, you know, kind of alluding to that. And of course we know that we're kind of waiting for the movie at the end of the year, which is going to be awesome. I'm really hoping. We don't know, I think, if there's going to be a worldwide release, you know, with the dub and the sub at the same time. We don't know yet. If there is, I'll definitely go see that in theaters, 100%. Who am I going to get to go see that with me? Oh, probably Abel. Anyway, regardless. Oh, he might be away. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll figure that out. But, you know, they're taking time to work on the movie before they work on a whole new series, because that would be a disgusting amount of hours. They already are way overworked there, you know, the animators. Animators definitely don't get as much credit as they deserve in, you know, just in the animation industry, I think. Because, you know, they work long hours and they work really hard, and it definitely pays off either way. It's 4 a.m. and I'm recording this video. That's why I keep yawning. I'm going to bed after this. But, nonetheless, you know, I think it definitely pays off for them. So yeah, I would be willing to say that Dragon Ball Super is going to come back. But I think that's pretty much all I had to say. I'm trying to think if I had anything else to say. I don't think so. As far as maybe my favorite moment in all of Dragon Ball Super, that's hard. There's a lot of good ones. Ugh. I can say definitely, well, I don't know if this was, it might have been. I was going to say one of the saddest ones, if not the saddest one, was definitely when Goku Black killed Future Bulma. That was, I cannot watch that scene again. No, thank you. Trying to think, what was my favorite moment? There's so many good ones, and there's like so many too that I forget about, that like I rewatched some old Dragon Ball Super like YouTube videos and I'm like, oh yeah, that happened. I completely forgot about that. I don't know, man. There's too many good to decide. I know definitely up there is definitely the Jiren Goku fight. The final episode was fantastic. Like I said, you know, the Hit and Goku fight was really good. You know, obviously like the Goku Black arc. I know a lot of people didn't like the rushed ending, but I love the like the hope, you know, like all the people giving Trunks their energy, you know, to make the spirit sword. I thought that was awesome. Obviously Vegito Blue was super cool. It's just a great series overall. I might honestly, maybe before the movie comes out, because I'm gonna watch a lot more Dragon Ball like related stuff that I have not seen before. You know, I actually haven't even watched the OG Dragon Ball, so I want to go and watch that. I definitely want to watch GT because, you know, I hear a lot of people dog about it, and I jokingly dog about it, but, you know, I can't really form a true opinion on it until I actually see what it's about. You know, I'm going to finish up the Boo arc here, maybe go back and see and check out some of the filler that's actually good, like Pycon and stuff. But yeah, maybe I'll go back and watch Super before the movie, because the movie at the end of the year, by the way, if you don't know, is a Dragon Ball Super movie. So it is in the same continuity as Dragon Ball Super. So I don't know. We'll have to see what the future holds for this series. But hope you guys enjoyed the video either way. I know it was a ton of rambling. But I just kind of wanted to do a video about this, just kind of sharing my thoughts about Dragon Ball Super. Because, you know, with the series ending, I know a lot of YouTubers are doing this sort of video, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on it. I thought it would be a cool video. You know, maybe you guys would be interested in hearing, you know, a little bit of my history with the series and just random thoughts on it and whatever. Let me know what your favorite moment is. If you have one from Dragon Ball Super, definitely in the comment section below. If you have any stories about it, please let me know in the comments. I'd definitely like to hear them. If you made it all the way to this part in the video, comment, I'm looking around my room for something. Super Saiyan 3 Future Gohan. Whatever your comment is, throw that in there somewhere, or just comment that if you made it this far in the video. Either way, though, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your Dragon Ball Super stuff in the comment section below. And hopefully there's a Dokkan video out today. I don't know yet, but we'll see. Either way, though, hopefully this will tide you guys over, and catch you in the next one. Having you two out. Peace.